Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome to the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners meeting for 12/1/2021. Sounds cool, don't it? If you'd all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Ambers, would you start us off, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Haney.
Present.
Commissioner Brzezinski.
Present.
Commissioner Matias.
Present?
All present. Thank you.
I don't think your mic is working.
Is that
Can't hear you.
as soft as you can talk?
Better?
That's better, yeah.
Consider the agenda for today, please.
Mr. President, I move to amend the agenda to add a resolution. I don't think there's a number for this resolution until after the meeting, but a resolution to reaffirm LaPorte County's commitment to financial and operational integrity. That would be a motion.
We need a second to that motion to amend the agenda. Second motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Can we approve the agenda as amended?
I'd make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Consider approval of November 17th, 2021 minutes.
Mr. President, I move to approve the agenda of the minutes of our November 17th meeting.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Consideration of claims.
Commissioners, we have payroll for the period ending 11/19/2021 in the amount of $1,131,735.86. And we have operating expense claims for the same period in the amount of $1,967,253.59.
Move to approve the claims as presented.
Support.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Moving along, the next on our agenda is public comment. Anyone from the public who would like to make a comment?
Oh, Viviana has the time right here.
Oh,
May I approach, please?
sure. Oh, I thought it was a Christmas card.
Oh, for you? No, you're always welcome to my house.
Thank you.
You want to see up in the backyard? You're welcome to my house. Yes, I think you've been there.
I have.
Now that winter weather is upon us and we've lost all the foliage off the sparsely wooded area, you know, the woods we own, the woods that are mentioned in the paperwork, I have asked to be audited and investigated. The same paperwork that was sent to the state of Indiana is compliant. The photos I handed you are from me standing in my backyard looking northwest. That big piece of equipment that is used can be seen is a excavator. It's not a shovel and a wheelbarrow. It is not landscaping and contouring operation. The excavator scoops up large portions of materials called sand. In turn, the sand is dumped into large trucks and sold. You know, like a business. I have personally witnessed this business in operations for 6 years now. Now with the foliage gone, the details are again in full view to me. The debris blows right into my screen porch. We are all in receipt of the email where Mr. Friedman was sure to let me know that once again, he has determined the county allowing this to start 6 years ago now falls directly on my shoulders as the blame. He did add that I don't have the right to question him. Apparently the questions I've been asking are troubling to the county. Questions like who, when, where, and why. The newest email comes from Mr. Poland and the Plan Commission attorney. Never does state who the Plan Commission attorney is. He did mention it to me out in the hallway just before the meeting. It contains mistruths. Many of the state officials contacted me. This was after I contacted a couple of state officials and they witnessed what was really happening. They said it was wrong. They stated to me it was wrong and the county just needs to stop it. He also states I used the land with my grandchildren. They don't even live in the state of Indiana, never have. I don't hunt my own property. Why would I hunt that land? I have room on my property, and I do have a fire pit. I have over a half-mile of groomed trails on my property. As for the current use of the property Mr. Boland brings up, what is that use? What is it called? I call it a sand mining operation, an operational business. Every board member has called it the same thing on record. A business. Shut the business down. It is not conducive to our neighborhood. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Anyone on Zoom? Viviana, oh. No, okay. Come on up, Mr. Ambers.
Good morning, everyone. As you all remember, I came in here a few weeks ago and asked for civility, for the benefit of the county, for the benefit...
Mr. Ambers, could you introduce yourself just so that the members of the public know who you are?
David Ambers, attorney here in LaPorte with an address at 601 State Street here in LaPorte. So I came in and asked you guys to just calm it down a little bit. Be responsible. You have people who want to come to this county to live, to work, to bring their business, and they don't need to see this sideshow that you can't even see at the circus. Now, I also have received, now the fight's going to Facebook, a picture of a dam, happens to say Stabos, Haney, and Cunningham, holding back the water of Attorney Billings. The headline of that on Mr. Haney's Facebook page, "Drive safe, everyone. Roads will be slicker than an attorney's Billings tonight." It's ridiculous. Why do people have to look at this and put up with this? The time to fight the appointment of the county attorney is the January organizational meeting. And quite frankly, with the two of you so tied together, with over $4,000 of your money going to his campaign, you contributed more than he did. I'm not sure his votes are even objective on any of these issues you're bringing up. And I'm not here to defend Shaw. I'm here to defend the county. And this ridiculous, childish activity needs to stop. This morning while I was having my coffee, I read the rules of decorum of the United States Senate. And I suggest every person in this room sit down and read those and start considering how we're going to act at public meetings in front of people who potentially want to invest in LaPorte County. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have someone on Zoom?
I can't see. Mr. Campbell, apparently. Rich, if you want to allow him to speak. There's someone named Campbell on there that wants to speak.
I don't see anybody with their hand up.
It was the first square that's lit.
First square is showing here.
Yeah, here it's this person.
We have anybody, Viv? Oh,
This person raised their hand.
introduce yourself, and you have 3 minutes.
Is he unmuted?
Bill?
Oh. Mr. Campbell, if you could unmute your microphone so we can hear you. Okay.
Mr. Campbell, if you can hear us, need to unmute your microphone if you want to speak.
Same. He put in the chat, it says it won't let him unmute.
Is there any reason why that, Viviana, that you can see? Maybe you can unmute all for a moment?
Technology, ain't it great?
Why don't you try unmute all, just to see if it's caught in a glitch somehow?
If you're static, it's always a good sign.
We're stuck.
Well, while we're waiting, is there anyone else present that would like to speak? The one, the only.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'm actually here for another matter, but, you know, in response
For
to...
the record, introduce yourself.
Mike Poland, Building Commissioner.
Thank you.
In response to the first public comment, I think all of you have received copies of my emails. None of them contain mistruths. Every local, state, and federal agency known to man has been out on this site, inspected it, and provided reports. 3 different attorneys have looked at everything involved in this case and made decisions. The case has been litigated 2 times. There is nothing, the county has exhausted everything that is available to us on this site. Your attorney has advised him, why don't you file an appeal? Why don't you challenge it? Coming here every single meeting to do the same thing over and over again, well, there's a definition in Webster's Dictionary for that. But I'm here for another matter, so moving on. I did recently send out a quarterly report. Hopefully you all received it. The main reason I'm here today is because we have an issue with mobile homes. As part of a code enforcement situation that we have, one thing that we're doing is enforcing the codes that are already on the books. So I received a complaint in my office that there has been a lack of consistency in dealing with real estate transactions involving mobile homes. So a realtor came to the Board of Zoning and requested a variance. That particular one was denied, and then it was pointed out, well, these transactions are happening every day, and those people aren't doing the right thing. They're not applying for a variance. A little background on that. In the joint zoning ordinance, mobile homes are only allowed in mobile home parks. About 300 of them exist throughout the county outside of mobile home parks, and they're supposed to exist with a variance. Some of them have lifetime variances, but they do not transfer upon new ownership or death of a petitioner or anything like that. So there's been a lack of consistency there, and it needs to be tightened up. So I was advised by our legal counsel to appear at public meeting and make the public announcement. I'll probably also be speaking at the Realtor Association, maybe get a radio slot, you know, try to get the word out, because eventually these transactions will be blocked, I think through the auditor's office. And mobile homes are actually personal property, and I think they're taxed as such. It's not like a stick-built or even, you know, a modular home. I think the assessor's here, he could probably speak more on that. But that's the main reason I was here today, to bring up that point. I do have a couple more things, so before I get to that, if you guys have any questions for me on the mobile home thing.
Good.
Well, just if you could just keep us updated as you proceed.
Sure will. And Commissioner Haney is on the Plan Commission, and this was heard there, and we had some discussion. So I'll be working with Commissioner Haney on that, and we'll make sure that we keep the rest of the commission up to date on that. Another matter, I've been working with the president of the commission as the MS4 operator. I think that we don't have anybody running the show right now, and I think I've had a discussion with the manager of the Soil and Water Conservation District, and he is willing to take the phone calls and the emails. So I think it would be prudent for us to forward the former MS4 coordinator's phone and emails to the Soil and Water Conservation District manager, so that we can avoid a lapse in service to the public, at least in the interim, until we get figured out how we're going to move forward on that.
Yeah, I'll take that up with IT after the meeting. I did have a conversation with Jerry Jones yesterday, and we forwarded the job description for MS4 to him. He wanted to look at it a little bit because there's some changes, I guess, from the state legislature to make sure that we're in the proper compliance there. And we've kicked around a few ideas about what we're going to do. I've had a conversation with Mr. Matias before the meeting. It's definitely heavy on our mind. We need to do something because it's too important to let it sit. So
I already inherited a case, a long-time case that goes back more than a year. The gentleman's a county employee, and then there's other people involved doing stuff in the residential area. So it has the Army Corps of Engineers involved spilling in wetlands and whatnot. But there's also a potential zoning issue. So because of that, my office will be able to take jurisdiction, and I'll at least be able to, provide a seamless transition in that particular case. But we're going to have other gaps that need to be filled.
Well, I appreciate your help on that because
You bet.
you are the expert.
Thank you.
Thank
Last night I got a call about super users and the calendar and Elko potentially not getting notified of meetings. I do have a tech sergeant in my office that is skilled and knowledgeable, so we can help out. I think maybe Commissioner Matias should lead this effort because she was responsible for redoing the whole website, making it mobile friendly, and starting that program to begin with. We've just had a big, a turnover with IT people and other people, so we've got former super users that are no longer here, and another thing of gaps that we need to fill. So we're willing to help out, and like I said, I do have a tech sergeant. It's going to take more than just. We can't dump it all on one person.
Right.
So some people that have monthly meetings and have the stuff that needs to go on the calendar, if they have people in their department that are tech savvy, they should take that on.
So Mike, Viviana's, one of her duties is to try to keep the super users organized and make sure that list is refreshed when needed. So our biggest goal is to make sure that our website doesn't become either clogged with old stuff or not up to date and not current. So I'm going to ask Viviana to organize a meeting with your person and a couple other super users so that we can get. Okay, could you tell Mr. Bell? So there you go. We're already ready to go. So December 9th, we'll have a meeting of the super users and make sure that we are keeping the website fresh and updated. Thank you for that.
Awesome. So I got something to work with each one of you on.
Perfect.
Other than that, I'm all done. So happy holidays. Any questions?
No, thanks.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks for your help.
I think you might have your
Yeah.
public person.
Viviana, you got somebody on Zoom now?
Yeah, finally let me unmute. Can I start? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, if you could introduce yourself.
yourself and.
All right, good morning. My name is Corey Campbell. My address is 510 Grass Fork Court, Wauwatosa. I'm also a representative of Labor's Local 81, which represents 1,166 members across 4 counties in northwest Indiana, 161 of them being LaPorte County residents. I'm here today to express concern over the actions of LaPorte County Auditor, Mr. Stabos. Mr. Stabos recently stated on November 24th via a Facebook post that 2 commissioners and county attorney are immoral, indecent, corrupt, and pathetic. Mr. Stabos made these allegations with absolutely zero evidence supporting them. It is clear after seeing Mr. Stabos' actions that he is more concerned about using public office to pursue his personal vendettas than to do the job he was elected to do. Mr. Stabos is so distracted with his personal vendettas that he has now have the county in a lawsuit and at the expense of LaPorte County residents, as well as forgetting to pay a July 15th bond payment, jeopardizing the county's A+ bond rating. Commissioner Matias, Commissioner Brzezinski, and Attorney Friedman have very reputable reputations and have always done right by the residents of this county, moving this county forward in a positive direction. It is pathetic to see these allegations against these 3 with zero evidence supporting them, all in an effort to undermine, belittle, diminish their reputations with lies and bigotry. I'll finish with urging the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners and the County Auditor to put an end to this political slander and move on the way LaPorte County knows how to do. That is all I have, and I hope everybody has a great day.
Thanks, sir. Anyone else on Zoom? Viviana? Anybody else in the room?
I've got a public comment.
In the room or on Zoom?
Yes, I'm on Zoom. If I may speak, please. You got somebody else?
Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not sure which one you got. You got him or me? This is Jeff Santana.
Is he still there?
Okay. Yeah, okay, I apologize. I got the darn TV on too, so it's delayed. Jeff Santana, 4954 Lindsay Lane. Wasn't going to call today, but, I again have to agree with the attorney elders on what's going on, and that it can obviously absolutely be changed at the polls, or it can be changed at a reorganizational meeting. One thing I will say, I am hearing some defense on some of these individuals. I will say this, and you know who you are. If one of the commissioners would have kept their word to his party, I guess I said his, so I guess we know it's a male, would have kept his word to his party and to the public when running for the office of commissioner this last time, we wouldn't have this situation right now. That's what got him elected. And I'm telling you right now, you look into everything that the one individual said and just totally neglected it and went the other way. Oh, yeah, that tipped off a lot of people. So know the whole story before we start defending everything. Other than that, man, this was one of your shortest agendas. Good job. See you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.
Good morning, Commissioners. I didn't plan on speaking during public comment, but since one of the public comments was mischaracterizing the essence of my Facebook page, I needed to come up here and clarify that. The context of referring to my statements about some of the people in this room, the context was the flyers that were put out by this person, Brandon, paid for by Let's Go Brandon or whatever it is, and my cautioning that person about concerns around election law, and to the degree that that piece was mocking elected officials, including some of us in this room, I cautioned and said, stay within the confines of the law, mock certain public officials, all including some people in this room, all you want, continue stating how immoral, indecent, corrupt, and pathetic they are, but don't advocate for the defeat of anyone in an election who's up for re-election, because that's a violation of the law. So there's a little bit more of a context, which is telling someone else that if you're going to be mocking public officials, do it within the confines of law. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I think it mischaracterized that I was saying these people, certain people, are immoral, indecent, corrupt, and pathetic. And I may or may not, I may believe that. I believe LaPorte County government is corrupt, and we have corruption, and we need to root it out. And I'm seeking to root it out, and I will continue to seek to root it out, because I think the public deserves better. But I just want to clarify the Facebook post. Thank you.
Sure, anybody who really gives a damn about Facebook will be interested to hear that.
Well, it's in your
Which would
resolution.
exclude
It's
me.
in your resolution today.
Because I don't do
ad nauseum,
I don't do Facebook. Anyone else in the room for public comment? Yes. State your name and address and.
Hi, my name is April Daly, and I live in LaPorte. And Mr. Stabos, I don't know why you're even bringing up talking about different people. You need to focus on your job, which is to take care of the taxpayers of Indiana. So what's going on with the bond? If it just costs the taxpayer, I'm sorry, I'm nervous. If it just costs the taxpayers $250,000 because you failed to do the job that you were elected to do, that's a problem. Why didn't you just talk about that? We talked about things that don't matter. And it's embarrassing. I agree with Mr. Amber. It's embarrassing what you just did. You and Mr. Haney, you are giving everybody a bad name.
Thank you.
No response?
Ma'am,
Public comment. It's the commission
ma'am,
meeting,
yeah,
not
you
my
need to
meeting.
direct your comments to
sorry.
us, and
I'm sorry.
yeah, we're not a question and answer or a trial.
So if we can make sure that people are held accountable for their deeds and their actions, $250,000 is a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
So
It is.
we
It
need
is
to
to
make
me.
sure that this is taken care of. And honestly, the back and forth and the bickering has got to stop. It's embarrassing.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the room? Who is that? Is he unmuted? Daryl Borton? Is that who we're talking about? Daryl Borton, if you want to speak on Zoom, you need to unmute. You sure he's... Okay. One last chance. If you're going to speak on Zoom, you need to unmute. All right. Never mind. Seeing no one else here, public comment is closed. Move on to department head reports. Any department heads? Oh, boy. Now
I don't
there's
come every month, so I want to be first today.
there's Peter.
I'm asking the commissioners, I called this morning, Shaw's reviewed it was a pictometry contract. We currently have it. We have 4 more years of flyover, but they offered us better pictures at the same price, or we save $7.48 or something. But for 6 more years, or we fly every 2 years. And so the contract really hasn't changed, other than we're going to get better pictures, and the next flyover will be next year. So we're asking the commission to approve the contract and sign it so we can get scheduled for this spring.
Majestic flying the plane?
Oh, I will, yeah.
I was wondering about that. Are they using Zoom or
Drones?
drones now? No?
No, they don't, not on our project. They're not.
Okay. Yeah. They showed
No
me
manual
this.
flights.
I saw this contract this morning. It's basically just the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
You just need to-
Mr. President, if unfortunately we weren't able to get it on the agenda, I've had an opportunity to review it. I've had the opportunity to review the original and the addendum. If comfortable with both, would like to, if that's all right, since our practice is always to have contracts and agendas, or contracts and ordinances on the written agenda, but like to have it on the December 15th for approval, we'd recommend approval at that time if we could.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like you need approval before the end of the year, does it?
Well, Mike talks to more than I do. It's a scheduling thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we explained this morning, that we kind of need to move it along.
And I'm comfortable, Mr. President, having an agenda for the 15th and recommending approval. We've looked at the addendum. It's fair. It's consistent with the prior contract, but simply for purposes of publication, we always like to have contracts and ordinances on the
Will
written
that put
agenda.
you in a bind time-wise?
I mean, we can do it, December 15th will be fine. It's just, it's the same point, essentially. But we'll be okay. And just
Okay.
to clarify too, so currently we're flying 9-inch tiles.
You might want to use the
Yeah.
microphone.
Sorry. Just to clarify, so currently we fly 9-inch tiles for the whole county, and then 3-inch for highly dense, more populated areas. For instance, Michigan City, LaPorte City, all the incorporated areas. With this contract, we actually go, instead of doing the 9-inch, we go to 6-inch tiles for the whole county. So it's higher quality imagery, essentially same price, a little bit cheaper, and we're excited, especially since we use it for Beacon, multiple departments utilize it, and it's great for everybody involved.
For the general public, this is the pictures they see on Beacon.
On Beacon.
And so they're going to be better quality, not that we don't have good quality now, but they're going to be that much better.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to ask if you could put it in layman's terms so the public who's listening understands what this contract is. But it's for Beacon and for other county
And
use.
the Michigan City uses it,
Yeah.
LaPorte City, so other units of government, we pay for it, but they get to use it, but we don't allow them to sell it and make money off us. So they're allowed to.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's basically just renewing this contract, and it's not something that we have to bid. I see.
Thank you.
Okay. we'll make sure we get that on the 15th.
And if anything, I should note, the addendum makes clear it's an upgrade in services. The already good quality services they're getting through pictometry, it's a nice upgrade that I think taxpayers will see a benefit from.
Yeah, I looked it over this morning. I didn't see an issue with it at all. Okay, anyone else? Seeing none. Oh, wait.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Lewandowski, Director of Facilities. I hope everybody has had a chance to see the lights around the courthouse, and I wanted to take this opportunity this morning to thank a few people. With lights, it's a lot of work inside the buildings, outside the buildings, and this year, our housekeepers took care of getting the trees decorated inside of our buildings. We're still doing a little bit more work on them, but I want to put special thanks out to Mark Selectric. They got our wreaths hung up on the front of the courthouse, and then Brian Wozniak headed up our lights outside. I kind of asked him to be the lead on it, and he got the lights down the roadways, got everything up, and he got the whole team in maintenance chipped in, got all the structures put up and lit up, so we were lit up on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And I just want to make sure that I came out and thanked every one of the people in the facilities. I mean, they worked hard to make something for this community so that they have something to come and just, drive by and take a look at.
They've done an amazing job, and we went through the Festival of Lights out at the fairgrounds. It's unbelievable. It's just absolutely spectacular to see that here.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
It's nice to see that the community, we have such pride in our community. But I wanted to send a big thank you out to everybody that's helped out.
So Larry, if you could express our thanks to your team, and also thank you for your leadership. Since you've been on board, the courthouse has never sparkled as much as it does now.
Well, all of us have a kid at heart, and I remember growing up, the lights across the roadways and everything.
Yeah.
It just brings back a lot of memories. And as a kid, I don't care if you're an old kid or a young kid. Christmas time is a time to just smile and come out with a lot of cheer and bring everybody together as a family. So hopefully these lights will bring everybody together, and we can all just have a good community gathering.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. It looks fantastic.
Anybody else, any other department heads?
Morning again. I was made aware a short while ago about the resolution that's on your agenda, or the change of the agenda. I just want to comment on the resolution. I view this resolution as a direct effort on the part of the commissioners, particularly two of them, to embarrass the Office of the Auditor. You're certainly free to do that, and I respect your right to do it. I view it as a political action being taken at a commission meeting. Let me speak specifically to this office. My office was a day late with the bond payment. We made a mistake. I apologize for that mistake. I take responsibility for that mistake. I regret that mistake, and I take the mistake seriously, and I own it. It was a confluence of circumstances that explained it, including, among other things, encoded invoices that went to spam, and the effort by the bank to contact the former auditor with their warning notice instead of my office. We got her notice the day that both myself and my chief deputy were at an auditors conference, and I didn't check my email that day. And we would have gotten the payment in the day it was due if we had gotten that urgent notice. It won't happen again. We're aware when the payments are due. We regret it. For the record, I just want to inform you that I spoke with ratings analyst Taylor Boudreau from S&P Global yesterday, and we don't know yet, but it is likely, perhaps with 95% certainty, we don't know for certain, that there'll be no effect on the county's bond rating. There may be an effect. We don't know yet. There was no late charge for this bond payment, so as it stands now, I'm not aware of any higher cost to the county. I'm not saying there won't be any consequences, but generally speaking, I was told that unless a day late is a human error, but once you're 5 or so days late, then they're wondering what's going on with someone who's that late. So I don't take it lightly. I take responsibility for it. I don't understand, and I will say in my department head comments, why this resolution spends time looking at my Facebook page and talking about the things that I say on my Facebook page. Commissioner Rosinski, you made comments about Facebook and that you don't read it. I don't know why we're obsessing about my Facebook page. My Facebook page is a political page where I express my opinions. I have the right to express them. Commissioner Haney has said the same thing, frankly, at commission meetings about his Facebook page. If you don't like my Facebook page, stay off my Facebook page. Commissioner Matias, you posted something on my Facebook page that I have a lot of respect for. That you explained the nature of the work that your husband does, and you laid it out in a very straightforward fashion. I respect you. I haven't posted anything, but I was going to say that I support what Sheila says on that page, and the person that made innuendo against you is wrong and shouldn't have made it. And that's what I intended doing. So I just want to say that, my Facebook page is my Facebook page, and this resolution distracts from the issue at hand. We're in court together, or I guess we're supposed to be in court together, but you're not providing me with the defense. I've received an email from both Commissioner Matias and Mrozinski saying that, if I understand you correctly, you will not support an attorney for the auditor's office with regard to providing adequate supervision for Mr. Friedman, which I met with Mr. Mrozinski 2 weeks ago at 2 p.m. to talk about this, to talk how we can work together arm in arm and represent to the public that we are going to adequately supervise him, because he is not adequately supervised. He does what he wants, and I showed that with the July billings with what he charged the county for. So I'd like to know publicly, I think you said in an email to me that I get no attorney no matter what. So if that's your position, I'm going to have to go to the state attorney general and say, they're saying in their statutory authority that they want me to lie defenseless with regard to my efforts to protect and defend the citizens and taxpayers of LaPorte County, and that they're going to use their power to approve contracts to say, you get no defense, auditor. That's inappropriate. Finally, just in conclusion, as you read this resolution later, apparently you're going to go through this resolution that talks about my Facebook page, where you state that about financial advisor Carl Sender, that I made a post inferring the county has used the county services only because, which I didn't say, as the auditor charged, he is a personal crony extraordinaire of the county attorney who, quote, throws county money at Mr. Sender and even vacations with Mr. Sender, although this is based on zero facts whatsoever and is completely false and untrue. For the record, for the media, for everyone here, 2 weeks ago, I sat in Rich Mrozinski's office at 2 p.m., and he told me that you, Mr. Friedman, vacationed with Carl Sender. So that's who told me, sir. So this notion that that's completely false and untrue, I'd like to get you under oath, sir, because I'm wondering who's telling the truth. The same Rich Mrozinski who said that you launder money 5 years ago in an email? So that's the corruption in LaPorte County that I'm talking about. And I will continue to talk about corruption in LaPorte County as long as 2 commissioners are primarily controlled by that man sitting over there, which is corrupt. Thank you.
Never cease to amaze me. Any other department heads? Seeing none. Thank goodness. Any requests? Seeing none. We have old business. Update on the Rolling Prairie EMS base and highway garage. Larry Lewandowski, facilities manager. Morning again.
Morning again. Larry Lewandowski, director of facilities. So about 3 years ago when I first came in, we started up on the LaPorte base, and at that time, I stood here and Commissioner Mrozinski brought up we've got to also look at a Rolling Prairie base. And I know at that time, talking to a lot of people, he'd been working on this for possibly 12 years prior to me coming in here, so it's quite a long time. Well, today I'm happy to come up here and tell you we're really moving forward at a good pace. And it being where you live, Mr. Mrozinski, and everything, hopefully it's going to make you very pleased what we're about to tell you. So we've got the drawings. I think everybody has got them. We've got a plan that the engineering company has put together. We've met with EMS, with the highway garage. Everybody, we've hashed out some things that we want to change. We've got it all where we need to be. We're hoping to come, we've given you a timeline. We're hoping to come to you in January to get the approval to go out to bids, get it out to bids in February, and with the March of the opening of bids to hopefully our hope is to get to the council, get approval, and do a groundbreaking in May. So that's, like I said, do you have any questions about what I've presented to you so far?
No question, but a comment. You're right. I've been something that I've had churning for about 15 years. When my first week on the county council, when Rip Ludlow came to me and said, we really have a problem with response time on the east side of the county. We need something. We need the ambulance base somewhere, and we have looked and looked and looked, and trying to get the right combination. But and I don't know. It just worked out this way that as president of the commission is from Rolling Prairie, and Andy McGuire, head of EMS, is from Rolling Prairie. Actually graduated from high school with his dad. That 2 Rolling Prairie guys that we've got together, and we said, hey, now is the time, and you have been the glue that finally put this together, and I'm looking very much forward to being there at the groundbreaking in my hometown, and it's something that not only makes me proud, but it is something that has been needed by the county for a long time. And you know, I've heard the horror stories of people in Hudson Lake that call for an ambulance, and it's a matter of geography. It takes a while to get there, and seconds count when you're waiting for an ambulance.
But we had hoped to have this. COVID set us back about a good year.
Yeah,
COVID did set us. We had this. We were working on it, and then it just we kind of put it at a back burner when COVID hit. And right now we're trying to go at it at full pace, and hopefully we can get this thing going and not stop right now.
So, Mr. President, I think one of the things that we should, we need to thank Larry for, he brings a construction background to this position. So how often do we get schedules that start with the timeline and the schematics and end up with the groundbreaking with dates certain that we can, for construction goals? So your construction management background has really benefited the county, and I appreciate that you took the work that, you know, the team has done for almost 2 decades and put it on paper, and you're making it come to life. So thank you so much for that.
I don't want to just come in. There's a team that does this. We got a team of engineers. We got a team with the EMS, with the highway, myself. I couldn't do it without my department manager, Caitlin. So it's a team. It's not one person. I just want to make sure. I appreciate the comments, Commissioner Matias, but it's a team that does it.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Any other, let's see, update? Okay, next on the agenda, I have considered a second hearing on the COVID grant. Tony Rodriguez. Give us a brief update.
Good morning, Commissioners. What you have before you this morning is virtually a housekeeping item. Through the diligent work of our county planner, who also serves as the liaison and certified grants administrator to Oprah, the remaining and outstanding piece of closure necessary to complete this work is you, as the commission, opening a public hearing, taking any public comment. We have adequately advertised and posted the announcement for today's public hearing. I have circulated a list, just in very brief form, very comprehensive list identifying the amounts of the grants made and geographically where those grants went within the county. I do apologize, there's one, and it's simply the fact that during that grant period, it was under the auspices of Commissioner Cora at that time, so you'll see that on there. But it was being conducted during a time in which that grant period reflected that. So today, if I could, Mr. President, would be just a request that you open the public hearing, take any public comment. In a nutshell, again, I've circulated the summation here. We could not be more pleased with the fact that the $500,000 grant funds that came into this county served an extremely valuable purpose to assist those small businesses that otherwise would have suffered, in some cases gone out of business. So very pleased to be reporting the success of having received the grant funds, and this again will allow Mitch Bishop to close out and put to bed the entire grant process.
So you're suggesting a public hearing on this at this time?
Correct. If you could open...
You open it and close it. Yeah.
Briefly, we do physically have a sign-in sheet. If anyone from the public or on Zoom is wanting to comment, we will document that and then provide that to the...
You can certainly do that at this time. If there's anybody here that would like to comment on the grant. Someone on Zoom trying to speak? Eric Hayes? Eric, did you want to make a comment on this grant awards?
Is this all right with you? Should serve as a letter?
Barry Hayes. He is muted. Barry Hayes, would you want to make a comment on the grant awards? If you do, unmute yourself. If not, we're moving on. Anyone here?
So, Mr. President, as a citizen, I would like to comment. I'm looking at the list of 40 companies that received money from this grant between $5,000 and $10,000, and this was survival money. If you remember how severe the work just screeched to a halt, and a lot of these companies were not able to get materials. Some of these are restaurants that were trying to just survive to pay their staff. These 40 companies kept 400 plus people employed, and so this money was significant at a time where we were all in a state of flux and a state of really deep concern that how would our economy survive in our county. And these are jobs that pay working wages for our families. So I just wanted to be sure to put it in the context of these were survival grants to make sure that our local companies were able to meet payroll and make sure that they had materials and goods, and sometimes it was food to take care of the people of LaPorte County. So I just wanted to put it in perspective. We're really proud of this work.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to comment on the grant awards? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Good job as always. And next we have an update on the tabled refunding bond matter. No.
So I don't know if Baker Tilly is going to be on the line.
My sense is you were looking to update as part of your resolution, so I mean,
Right.
that's the update at this point.
All right, so we have a document that I'd like to enter into the record. It's from Baker Tilly, our municipal advisors. It is a notice of principal and interest payment delinquency. A reportable event for the bond issue listed below, dated August 27th, 2020. We received our bond issue for $19,450,000 for the Michigan City Courthouse project. LaPorte County failed to make the principal and interest payment on July 15, 2021, the due date for the debt service payment as required by the above referenced obligation. The county made the payment one day late on July 16, 2021. The county has sufficient funds to pay the debt service payment, and it's signed by Auditor Stavos, dated 11/19/2021. And I believe this was sent to our financial advisors, forwarded to Standard & Poor's and the various financial arms to make sure that they knew that we did indeed have the money to make the payment, and it was an error. We're hoping that, and I don't know if Attorney Friedman, you've gotten any updates about the biggest concern is our right now we have an A+ bond rating, and that was something that while I've been here for 3 years, this is something we worked really hard to maintain. And a big shout out to the former auditor, Joey Winsky, who really took this county from a fragile financial position to a really strong A+ rating financial position. And we want to be sure that we're sending the message that we want to make sure that that's where we stay. That's a matter of our financial integrity and fiscal responsibility. So,
Mr. President, members of the commission, I spoke with one of the principals of Baker Tilly yesterday.
Okay.
As required under the law, they were required to file a notice with the MSRB website, which is called EMMA. It's monitored by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So the county was in technical default. There is no assurance, as Baker Tilly, as I spoke to them, of what the impact will be on the county's bond rating. The management of S&P goes through a ratings process and a scoring process. And what Jason Semler has told me is that there is no assurance as to how this will affect things going forward. They are trying to put our best foot forward because, as you observed, Commissioner Matias, this was a hard-earned A+ rating and designation. The concern, of course, if there is a ratings downgrade, is that will affect future debt issuances by the county. One of the things that this caused was the continuance of the refunding bond resolution, which was scheduled for the last meeting. So I got a panic call from both the bond counsel and Baker Tilly saying, please pull that off the agenda. We're going to have to make full disclosure publicly of this late payment. And before we go to the rating services on any refunding resolution, we're going to have to make sure that that they're reassured. And so at this point, we're not able to do the refunding resolution this year. Hopefully, early part of next year, and that the rates are such that it's still efficient to move forward. But as you all know, the intent with that refunding resolution was to gain $20,000 to $25,000 a year in, or $15,000 to $20,000 a year in savings on the refunding resolution, the debt that is still owed on the equipment lease. So that has been put off as a result of this late payment. It is our hope that S&P will accept the explanations of the county, that we continue to put our best foot forward. It is also noteworthy that when they do their analysis for ratings, they look at all issues. One of the things that the county scored very highly on in the S&P report was a high level of cohesion, transparency, and the projection that you run good, honest government with integrity. And so that image is going to continue to be important to project to rating services on any future debt issuance. And I know that was something that has concerned both of all of you commissioners at this point. So that's the update, the latest that I have from Baker Tilly.
Thank you.
I would just report, if I may.
Thank you.
Having spoken with Taylor Boudreau, that I think that what's most important, what really how LaPorte has established its strong bond rating, is really its financial strength. And that a one-day late bond payment, well, I apologize for it, took responsibility up at the podium, is not in the broader picture something that's huge. It's unlikely to result in a downgraded rating. As Mr. Friedman observed, there is a committee that meets and talks about it. I think the most significant thing is LaPorte County doesn't have a lot of debt that it carries, and so it can handle the debt. And that's one of the most significant aspects of your rating, is that is the level of debt you carry relative to your ability to service the debt. But so in the broader context of things, we'll see what they say, as Mr. Friedman says.
I have a quick question for the auditor. The email that was sent to the wrong email address, it was sent to former auditor, the now treasurer. All those email addresses have been re-updated again to make sure that the notifications go into the proper inboxes.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Was there any indication as to, other than the email, was there any attempt at a phone call or anything from the treasurer's office that day to let you know that she had received the notice instead of your office?
The treasurer did a wonderful job in attempting to make sure that we knew.
Thank you.
I should note, too, Ms. Winsky has clarified for me that she attempted to notify the auditor's office weeks before the payment was due to reinforce the importance of making it on time. So the record is what it is, and Baker Tilly went back and looked at the communications, but I should be clear that Ms. Winsky made it very clear to the auditor's office the obligation to make that payment on time.
Yeah. Okay, moving along then, we have any new business?
Mr. President, I added a resolution, and while we've heard some under new business. Thank you. We've heard some debate and comments that the resolution is not worthy of entering. I believe that it is actually very much worthy, not only from the fiscal opinion of our county, to the financial community, but also to the citizens of this county. And so I'm going to go ahead and advance the resolution of the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners reaffirming LaPorte County's commitment to financial and operational integrity, while urging the auditor to cease and desist making baseless claims of corruption, which serves to damage this county's reputation with our citizens.
Was there a motion and second
with
to introduce
investors?
the resolution, Mr. Friedman?
Just reading the motion.
We're
not going to be able to vote on it until she reads it.
Isn't there normally a motion to introduce something before it's read?
No.
It's on the agenda. We don't have to have a motion to read something. It's on the agenda.
I know, but that's part of the formality. It's point of order. No, sir?
I don't think so.
There was a motion made to place the resolution on the agenda. It was moved and seconded. Commissioner Matias is now reading the resolution. Then there'll be a vote up or down on the resolution.
Continue.
Resolution of the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners reaffirming LaPorte County's commitment to financial and operational integrity while urging the auditor to cease and desist making baseless claims of corruption, which serves to damage the county's reputation with its own citizens, investors, the financial community, and economic developers. Whereas elected officials of LaPorte County, we have no greater obligation and duty than to ensure the financial and operational integrity of LaPorte County government. And whereas, working collaboratively with the previous auditor, this body takes great pride in having secured an A+ rating for the county from the Standard & Poor's S&P rating agency for financial integrity and fiscal responsibility that allowed the county to obtain the best possible interest rates, saving significant taxpayer dollars on the Michigan City Courthouse $19.5 million bond issuance. And whereas the current auditor seems most intent on using taxpayer-funded public office to settle personal and political scores, and in doing so neglected one of the most basic responsibilities of the auditor, which was making timely payment on a key debt issuance of this county, namely the $611,387.50 bond payment that was due on the Michigan City Courthouse bonds on July 15th, thereby causing a technical default, and that's in quotes from the financial authorities, requiring the county's financial advisors to file a formal admission on an SEC monitor website and jeopardizing the county's hard-earned A+ bond rating with a possible ratings downgrade from the S&P. And whereas a refunding bond resolution was scheduled to be heard by this body at the last commission meeting, which would have provided for $20,000 to $25,000 yearly in taxpayer savings on the $5.5 million debt remaining on the 2014 lease for energy savings equipment. The resolution had to be postponed due to the auditor's neglect and failure to make the courthouse bond payment on time as required. And whereas, rather than aid the county's continuous effort to put our best foot forward with the financial community, rating services, underwriters, prospective investors, and businesses considering a potential investment or expansion to LaPorte County. As an example, the auditor used the evening before Thanksgiving for attack dog style postings on his Facebook page, encouraging readers to, quote, mock Shaw, Sheila, and Rich all you want, continue stating how immoral, indecent, corrupt, and pathetic they are, end of quote. Encouraging harassment and hate speech directed at other elected officials is inappropriate, is conduct unbecoming the auditor, and is out of order. Whereas, the longest-standing LaPorte County Councilman, Council Vice President Mark Yagelski, specifically took the auditor to task over 7 months ago, urging the auditor to, quote, immediately stop this incessant, unfounded personal attacks on the integrity of our county attorney and 2 of our county commissioners, end of quote, and specifically challenge the auditor to, quote, take any evidence of wrongdoing to the Indiana State Police, the county prosecutor, or the FBI Public Integrity Unit, end of quote. And whereas this county has benefited from many years of unbiased and objective financial advice from our well-respected financial advisor, Carl Sender, who also advises numerous other cities, counties, and towns, yet again in attack dog-style social media posts, the auditor condemned Mr. Sender in another inappropriate Thanksgiving Eve post, inferring that the county has used Sender's services only because, as the auditor charged, he's a personal crony extraordinaire of the county attorney who, quote, throws county money at Mr. Sender, end of quote, and even, quote, even vacations with Mr. Sender, although this is based on 0 facts whatsoever and completely is false and untrue. The county attorney interacts with Mr. Sender and Company at the express direction of the majority of this commission. However, the commission would be remiss if we did not acknowledge Mr. Sender's significant guidance and assistance to this county in helping resolve the 2011 tax mess. And whereas the county auditor's bizarre Thanksgiving Eve posts include an equally absurd claim that the county attorney has a quote-unquote vested interest in the controversial D&M operation on 400 West continuing to operate, even though the county attorney, at the specific direction of this commission, obtained 2 stay orders against this operation in 2019 and 2020. Then the auditor urged a, quote, higher arbiter, end of quote, to bring a lawsuit against LaPorte County, the very county that he serves as chief financial officer, for its alleged failure to enforce its own zoning codes, and that's in quotes, which is in complete ignorance of the relevant facts and law in this case. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this body condemn the failure of the auditor to do the jobs the taxpayer paid him to do, which is to approve and pay the approved bills of the county in a timely manner. Specifically, his failure on July 15th to remit the county's bond payment, which placed the county in technical default, risking a possible downgrade in the county's A+ bond rating and causing a postponement in the refunding bond issuance, which would have saved taxpayers $20,000 to $25,000 a year. We also demand he cease and desist issuing his baseless, unproven, and dangerous claims of corruption among county officials that only hurt this county's image in the eyes of the citizens we represent, as well as to the financial community, the rating services, underwriters, prospective investors, and the business community. And I would like to enter into the record, because social media is media, and I have an article from the Herald Dispatch that I would like to enter into the record. It's dated Friday, April 16th, and then I'm also entering into the record certain social media posts that I quoted in the resolution that I wrote, because social media is media, and it can cast dangerous aspersions on people's character. And being the victim of that myself, not only does it not feel good, but to have lies spread by colleagues and encouraging people to use hate speech, it's just really, we are way better than that. You know, the financial piece of this resolution is troubling, because while it's one day, the SEC and S&P, this is Wall Street. They don't care if you're 1 minute late. It's not like you have 5 days grace with if you're late on your mortgage payment or your credit card payment. There is no wiggle room when you are talking Wall Street. And so we're late, then we had to hire our financial consultants to spend our taxpayer dollars covering this up and figuring out who they have to talk to and filing documents which the taxpayer had to pay for. And then last meeting, we had a move to try to save the taxpayers $20,000 to $25,000 a year on the previous bond debt that's remaining at $5.5 million. And we've had to delay that while inflation is continuing and our interest rates are going up across the country. So that's going to cost the taxpayers as well. And I guess just my bottom line is we are supposed to be serving the public. We're supposed to be serving the public with our characters, with our integrity, our best effort. The values that they elected us for should be the values that we represent, and we represent in our daily activities. And so all of this, you know, Mr. Ambler is quite correct. The citizens who've called me and talked to me are quite correct. The businesses, the economic development that we work on, we work so hard to get companies to reinvest in our county, to grow the jobs in their factories and in their industries, to attract new companies. And we're showing them that this is what we're about. We're about corruption. If there's corruption, report it to the right people. We have a wonderful sheriff. Report it to the sheriff and have his detectives investigate it, turn it over to the FBI, state police, whatever you need to do. But let's get back to the business of the people, doing it with integrity and honesty and principles. So, Mr. President, I move to approve this resolution.
Since this is a resolution and we had made it a point early on that we would have public comment on any resolution, is there anyone in the public here that would like to comment on this resolution that we just read? Seeing none?
Is there anyone on Zoom? I'm not sure.
No?
No? Okay.
Okay. So you made a motion to...
Motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Would you like to second that? That's a yes.
Earlier, the county attorney made a point that generally resolutions are put on the agenda in advance.
Ordinances. Ordinances, not resolutions. Resolutions can be introduced at the meeting.
Sure. I just received a copy of this resolution here this morning, just before I came over. It was in my packet this morning. I hadn't seen or heard anything about it, so I've just had the opportunity here just before the meeting and now just to kind of review it and go over it. I'm curious, you introduced this motion. Did you write this motion?
Yes, I did.
did?
No, it's not a motion, it's a
Or
resolution.
I'm sorry. Did you wrote this entire resolution?
I did.
Did
Yes,
you
I
have
did.
help from anyone else? Just curious. If you don't mind me asking.
Mr. Haney, please. You can approve second the motion, or you can't. I'm not going to go through my numerous edits of this resolution, my writing of the resolution. But yeah, I'm really a good wordsmith. I was an English teacher. I have a master's in English. So any questions you have on my vocabulary, please, we can discuss it
I'm not
afterwards.
questioning your intelligence, Miss.
We can discuss it later, perhaps. Matthias. Matthias.
Trying to get
Thank you.
So you second the motion, or not?
No, this is
I'll second the
political
motion.
garbage.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Nay.
The resolution has been adopted. Moving along, end of our agenda. Commissioner comments. Mr. Haney. Enlighten us.
It's been pretty busy past couple of weeks, even with the Thanksgiving holiday in there. We've had our continuing COVID readiness meetings. There's going to be there is a new testing site at 809 Washington, the depot.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry. The depot right here behind us, Tuesday to Saturday, that'll be a testing site from 8 to 4. There's also going to be a Wanata site next week coming up between Wednesday and Saturday. There'll be testing and vaccines from 12 to 8, and then for the testing, and then 12 to 7 for the vaccines down at the library down there. So check out, contrary to popular belief, there's a lot of good things that can happen on social media. Make sure you're following our health department's social media pages, as well as others, to make sure you get the most current information that's being put out on where you can go and find various testing and vaccination efforts that are happening throughout the county. I wanted to touch briefly on the Magical Lights. We had the grand opening that both Commissioner Brzezinski and I were present at for the Magical Lights, where they had the Make-A-Wish families there that we got to meet and speak with as well. For clarification, and again, being someone who tries to stay active on social media, see a lot of questions and comments come up about some of these things. So the Magic Lights isn't a city or county production. It is a private business that does this types of light shows in several places throughout the nation. They're a private business. It's the FMEC that is meeting and that leased the fairgrounds to them for this event. It's going to bring some, and aside from giving folks something to do here in LaPorte County, it's also going to bring back money into the fairgrounds. It's going to be used to improve the fairgrounds and make improvements out there. For those who don't know, there are millions and millions of dollars worth of upgrades and improvement that need to be made out there. It's going to take time to do that, and bringing in events like the Magical Lights not only gives folks in the community something to do in the holiday season, something extra to do, but also brings in a little bit of revenue that we can reinvest back into the fairgrounds that will make the fairgrounds better for not just events throughout the year, but also for the fair, which to me, our annual county fair is kind of the heart of our fairgrounds, and it's a tradition that I don't want to see ever negatively impacted. One of the things that we're also going to do is with Pioneerland events coming up here, and make sure follow the Pioneerland Facebook page as well. They're going to be from 3 to 5. You'll be able to get into the fairgrounds on the days when the Pioneerland event's taking place. You'll be able to get in for free to do that and enjoy Pioneerland like normal on a like we do every year, except for obviously last year due to the COVID restrictions. But we're going to be doing improvements that are already slated out there for Pioneerland. So how does some of this stuff affect things like Pioneerland? Doing different improvements out there to improve the walkways, paths, and the drives around Pioneerland to get them redone, and that schedule is already slated for early next year. So these are things that the FMEC that I'm a part of is working on, and obviously others in the county, to improve the fairgrounds and make it a year-round destination, while all the benefits that we do go through and improve the, benefit the fair as well. We had courthouse update meetings this week. Not going to do any spoilers, but hopefully we're going to have a grand opening sometime in early January. Stay tuned for more information on that. As I mentioned earlier, I had several different department visits this week. One thing I did want to touch on briefly is that harassment of any kind, be it job job performance towards employees, sexual harassment, things like that will not be tolerated. We have zero tolerance for that in this county. Please follow your chain of command to report anything along those lines, and if you're finding things in the chain of command that aren't working out, which hopefully you'll get proper resolution, please make sure to escalate it properly, and we will make sure it's handled in as prompt and quick of a manner as we can to get any issues handled in that. There's a quote from Penny Pierce, and she says, "We live in a culture of secrecy, where hiding and lying are accepted as natural, even though we don't like it. We want honesty, transparency, and authenticity in our loved ones, groups, and organizations, and in our own selves, so that we can reach the heights of our capacity. By clinging to an opaque reality, we stall our evolution." I think that's important. It's important to understand there that transparency isn't always pretty. There are things that, we've seen decades of stagnation in this county. That's no secret. The numbers don't lie. Decades of stagnation in relation to both population growth and business growth. What we're seeing here in this county this year isn't necessarily, we've seen improvements this year that have surpassed previous years, which is very good. But at the same time, there are underlying issues that lead into that the public doesn't always see. We can continue to stagnate and have decades worth of stagnation, which, coincidentally line up with the tenure of a certain attorney. Or we can move forward and we can clean up the things that need to be cleaned up, and we can move forward. You can't fix a problem until you acknowledge it. Once you've acknowledged the problem, then you can take steps to correct it and move forward. As Mr. Santana noted earlier in his comments, if Commissioner Merzinski had kept his word all through last year and into December of prior year, last year, we wouldn't have an attorney who was tearing us apart. It is sad. It's not pretty. It's not something that I take lightly. Prior to this past year, I had no interactions with hardly anyone up here. Certainly not with any attorneys. It's just not something that I ran across in my life. But when I ran, I knew there were issues, and I called it the seedy underbelly of LaPorte County politics. And it developed as I continued to come to meetings and see what was happening in this county. Now, nearly a year in, looking back on it, I probably would have used much stronger verbiage than seedy underbelly of LaPorte County. There's a corrupt house of cards that has been built here in this county. And one way or another, I'm going to tear it down. Enough is enough. The people of LaPorte County demand better. I believe history is going to judge those of us up here very harshly who refuse to take a stand and refuse to do anything and put an end to the things that we're all aware of up here. As to Indiana Code IC 51110 1.6, I believe the suit that the commissioners filed against the auditors is a frivolous suit. It makes absolutely no sense in trying. The State Board of Accounts is clear. IC 51110 1.6 has to be followed in order for the auditor to make a payment. The commissioners approving claims is one part of a 5-step process that's just in and of itself aligned there in 51110 1.6. The commissioners and the State Board of Accounts has been very clear. The commissioners cannot order the auditor to ignore Indiana Code. They can only do their part. Now, if a judge, since this matter is pending, is going to be pending, if a judge decides to order the auditor to do something, that's within the purview of the judiciary. But as far as the commission cannot and is not allowed under the law to order the auditor to ignore Indiana Code. Again, I would direct everyone to 51110 1.6 of the Indiana Code to see for yourselves, and to also follow up that those requirements must be met, and that comes straight from the Chief of Staff from the State Board of Accounts. As William Douglas said, sunlight is the best disinfectant, and we are going to clean this county up. Thank you.
Are you done? Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Matias.
Mr. President, I'm trying to digest all this stagnation talk. To be honest, I'm looking out at some of the people in the audience who have invested in homes and in businesses, who've spent their life, career dedicated to LaPorte County, which is a county that is not known as a stagnating county, but as a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family. Many of us have raised our families here. We've lived here for many, many years. Some of us are newcomers, and I think, Mr. Haney, you're a relative newcomer, so maybe you don't know the history of this county. The economic development that I've been highlighting in our LaPorte Works program is not new. You look at some of our manufacturers, they have deep roots for decades in this county. They have provided working wages for our community. Our trades are deeply rooted in our county, and they are far from stagnant. They have built wonderful bridges, buildings, schools, and stagnation is not in their DNA. So I'm going to focus right now on a positive thing, because you talk about sunshine. I'm going to be Miss Susie Sunshine, and I'm going to talk about good things. So LaPorte County Works, I started this program because as I was traveling through the community, I had people say, you know, it's a shame all the jobs are gone out of LaPorte County. All we have are fast food jobs and, you know, pizza parlor jobs. There's nothing wrong with those jobs, but they were inferring that there weren't working family jobs with benefits in our county. And so I realized that we have not done a great job of talking about the positive things that are in our county. And I think we need to spend a little bit more time focused on what's working well. And one of the things that's working well is the investment in industry and in manufacturing and in businesses that are starting small and growing into major industries. So we want to make sure that people who live in LaPorte County know that there are jobs here, there are open positions, and a lot of these jobs have excellent wages and benefits. So this series we've focused on thus far. We've focused on Sims Meat Processing in KIP, Sullivan Palatech, Helena Agribusiness, and OTEC, which are all hiring. And so today I'm going to focus on Van Air. Van Air used to be called Solaire PTO. It was founded as a division of the Solaire Corporation in 1972, which is, by the way, an amazing company that is far from stagnating. They have grown and grown and grown in the outskirts of Michigan City. Van Air became Van Air Manufacturing in 1984, and they relocated to New Buffalo, Michigan. They grew, and then in 1987 were purchased and moved to Michigan City, to LaPorte County in 2008. They're currently in a 160 square foot building, which is its production office space, located on West 300 North in Michigan City. They have over 50 years of experience providing the best-in-class products, installation, and service training. They offer a comprehensive line of mobile power solutions in the industry, including a wide variety of air compressors, generators, welders, battery chargers, battery boosters, and engine starters. They're an engineering-driven company known for problem-solving capability. They currently employ 170 people, and they have some open positions: service technician, parts packer, regional sales manager, assembler, drafter, and electrical engineer are some of them. They offer a competitive salary and an average wage of $25 per hour, including a benefits packet that includes medical, dental, and vision, matching 401k, paid vacation, holidays, and wellness time. If you're interested in a job at Van Air, you can send your resume to hr@vanair.com. It's VANAIR.com. And there's a complete list of jobs and qualifications posted at their website, which is www.vanair.com. And you can scroll down to the career section on their website. We'll also be posting this on the county's website. We are reorganizing the way we're posting them because we have quite a few open companies that are openly hiring. So if you go to our website and click on LaPorte County Works, you'll see a series of companies, the ones that I just mentioned, and you can click on the link to get information about the jobs that they have and also what their private website is. So this is an example of, yet again, another company. They've been around since 1972, and they continue to invest, reinvest,
hire local people, train local people, and help them to be successful. So I'm looking at the back of the room. Mike Seitz is nodding his head because Mike Seitz has dedicated his career first at the chamber and then as an economic developer, making sure that people know that LaPorte County is open for business. Tony Rodriguez, Matt Reardon, that is their career, making sure that people know that LaPorte County is open for business. So not only are we open for business investment, but we are far from stagnating. We are open for business investment, and we are a community that is growing jobs and growing jobs and growing jobs that feed our families, help our kids go to good colleges or get trained in the trades. So LaPorte County is on the move. So thank you very much. That's all my comments.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, as part of the RDC, I echo what you're saying with our economic development folks. They're amazing. We have some really interesting projects on the boards that are going to help make LaPorte County more prosperous. Certainly not stagnated, that's for sure. When you look at the projects we've got coming up in KOP, 39 North, the Love's Travel Plaza, which we've been working on for a long time, and it seems to have resonated with the council that this might be worthy of the American Rescue Plan funding. And also, the project that I'm the most excited about is at 3520 and I-94, an undeveloped area of land that has such promise. A $15 million investment for a postage stamp size of that whole area that we have other developers looking at, because it's a relatively small investment by the county to get this thing on the board. Shoot the sewer line under the highway and bring the water line down, and we've got utilities there and we're ready to go. And this is such a big deal, and it just did clear one hurdle last week where it cleared the Plan Commission on a 3-4 vote. How you voted against that is beyond any comprehension. I can't even think of why you would vote against that. This is one of the biggest projects is going to develop that whole area there south of Michigan City, right along I-94, US 20 and 35. It's going to be a great project. I had made this comment before that I don't accept criticism from anyone that I wouldn't take advice from. You know, when I came home from Vietnam 2 times and subjected to a lot of nasty stuff in the airport and other places, called baby killers, whatever, but I kept my cool because I knew that I was serving my country and doing what I thought was the right thing to do. I volunteered to go twice. I've been in county government 13 years, so I understand that there's a certain amount of crap you got to take from people that either they want to tell you how to do your job or point out things that they don't agree with. But I temper that with so many people that tell me we're doing a great job, we're doing a super job, we're bringing progress to the county and making it a better place to live and do business and raise your family. So I take all that together. As a commissioner, as an elected official, I understand that you got to have big shoulders and thick skin, and you got to accept a certain amount of stuff coming from people who don't really understand, or maybe they want to bring their personal agenda. But and I stated earlier, I don't do Facebook. There's a reason that I don't need to go into. But when I see stuff on there that encourages people, and first of all, I can't imagine that you guys got a really big following to begin with. But when you say stuff like, continue to mock Shaw, Sheila, and Rich all you want, encouraging the few people that you have as your minions, and continue stating how immoral, indecent, corrupt, and pathetic they are. You know, there's a certain level of things that you take as an elected official, and then it gets down to a man-to-man. And I caution you to choose your words very carefully in the future, because as a man,
I would urge you to do
there
the
are
same,
certain, I do have certain limits of what I will accept and what I'll put up with without taking some sort of action.
You lied
And
about-
trust me, boys, you don't want to go there.
Same thing
okay?
here, sir.
So with that,
Same
we're
thing here,
adjourned.
sir.